Namaskar, Abhishek, once again with a new episode in the series called Unlocking Stars with Abhishek. Unlocking Stars with Abhishek is a series on Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra is one of the most fundamental, most authentic, and most genuine scriptures on Vedic astrology available to mankind till today. This great divine scripture is in the form of discourse between great teacher Maharshi Parasar and his beloved student Maitri. Maharshi Parasar revealing this great wisdom to his beloved student 2500 years back. Through this series, we are paying our humble and respectful tribute in the lotus feet of great Guru Maharshi Parasar. In the last episode, Maharshi Parasar revealed very fascinating and new technique in Padadhyaya about the padas of all the lagnas, starting from the Pad Lagna to 12th house Arud, that is called Arud also. That's very fascinating way to know about the static promises in the chart for a native. That method has been extensively popularized by Maharshi Jamni, but the real seed, the conception is here in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra itself. Today, Maharshi is taking Maitre to Upapada Adhyaya. He will talk about Upapad after Pad. Upapad is a very great technique to understand married life, to understand the prospects and the life of the spouse and progeny. Although we have classical technique checking those things through D1 and D9 and D7, but this Upapada will also give great wealth of knowledge. So we will immerse into Mahaguru Mahakathan related to Upapadas, what Mahaguru is going to reveal today. Before going to follow the footprints of Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar, let's absorb in the Swarup of Sri Mahadev. Let's bow down in the lotus feet of Sri Mahadev. श्रीकण्ठस्य सकृत्तिका आर्धभरणी मूर्तिः सदा रोहिणी ज्येष्ठा भाद्रपदा पुनर्वसुयुता चित्रा विशाखान्विता दिस्या दक्षत हस्तमूलघटी आषाढ़ा मघालंकृता श्रेयो वै श्रवणान्विता भगवतो नक्षत्र वा पालिवा वा. So the Swarup of Sri Mahadev through the Nakshatra Mala. Great sages indicated the Vigrah, the Murti of Sri Kant is manifested through Kritika Nakshatra. And the Nakshatra who is taking care of all the jivas, the Nakshatra who has capability to do the Bharana and Posan, the Adra and Bharani, with Kritika. So that is manifesting the Sakar Murti of Sri Kanta. And the Rohini, in the personification of the Rohini, she got a Kamandalu in her hand. That Rohini is also adding in the Murti, in the Sakar Swarup of Sri Kanta. And the best of the best, Jyeshtha, and the Bhadrapad, which is keeping everything auspicious on a pad by pad basis, step by step basis. The Jyeshtha and the Bhadrapad adding the values in the manifestation of the Vigra Murti of Sri Kanta. And the great Punarvasu, which is capable of providing the wealth continuously, is coming up in the Murti Vigra. And then the Vichitra, strange appearance, which has Chitra, Chitra, that is coming up. And the Visakha, which has the power of Kartikeya. So that Visakha, that is participating in the manifestation of the Murti Vigraha of Sri Kanta. And the great Hasta, which is giving the Abhay Hasta, which is providing fearlessness sense to the jivas, that Hasta is also coming up. And the Mula, which is the root cause of the all Maya Srishti Prapancha, that is also participating in the manifestation of the Vigra of Sri Kanta. And then Asadha, the so nice auspicious smell it has. And then the great Magha, once you remember only the name and the Swarup of Magha, which has capability to remove all the diseases, that is coming up. And then Sravan, the great auspicious Sravan, capable to give the fame, that is coming up. In this way, all the 27 nakshatras are coming up and forming the Sri Vigraha of Sri Kanta Mahadev. We are going down to that Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. Jai Guru. Once paying humble tribute in the lotus feet of Sri Mahadev through the Nakshatra Mala, that gave us the understanding of his Swarup. After taking his blessings, now we are entering into the Parashara Mahakathan in Upapad Adhyaya. We have divided this great chapter, Upapad Adhyaya, into episodes. Half of the episode we will do, half of the Adhyaya we will do today. and the rest we will do in the next episode. Let's emerge in the words first. अथो उपपदाध्यायः पराशर उवाच अथो उपपदमाश्रित्य कथामि फलं द्विज यत् छूत्वत्वे भवेन नृणां पुत्रदारादिचकं सुखम्. Here Maharshi is explaining what is the utility of Upapad, why this Upapad business, this analysis we are doing. So he is saying, Hey Dvij, Hey Brahman, Hey Maitre, he is addressing to the Maitre. I have already told you about the Padaj. Now I am going to tell you about the Upapad, the new concept, Upapad. So what you will do with this new concept? What is the utility of this new concept, Upapad? That Maharshi is revealing here. It is required for the knowing the auspiciousness and inauspiciousness related to the natives, putra, progeny. Wherever Maharshi is saying putra, it means putra and putri both. That's why the best translation can be the progeny. And the dara and the spouse. So it means this Upapad is capable to tell us about the happiness or unhappiness related to the spouse and the progeny. It means we can check the marital life, the quality of marital life, the aesthetic promises related to marital life through this Upapad. So through this first verse, Maharshi is referring what is use of this Upapad. Now Maharshi is going first. Tanubhav padam vipra pradhanam padam uchyate tano anucharadhyata syadu parudham tada uchyate. That is the very technical here. Maharshi is saying in the second verse, the pad of the lagna, the arudh of the lagna, which is explained just in the last adhyaya, padadhyaya. That is of course of the main importance. That is very important. That is pad, and here we are talking about the upapad. So pad is obviously very important, Maharshi is saying. And the upapad, then the upapad, he is coming up. That upapad is to be calculated from the bhava of the following the natal ascendant. So that is the technical term, because Maharshi said that much only. Maharshi said tano anu tanora nu charadhyat. So the following to the bhava. Now acharyas are coming to explain what to do, how to understand this. Because Maharshi just said, the pad which follow the bhava, it means the upapad calculation, it can be viewed in line with the great Parashara. We are trying to decode, we are trying to understand what great Guru said. Great Guru said that word only. Then it means anuchar. So anuchar means the word anuchar is the follower. Anuchar is the follower. So the follower, it means the house following the ascendant at the birth. So the house following the ascendant at the birth. If you go to the ascendant, the first house, it means it might be the 12th house. So 12th house, upapad, it can be 12th house. Is explaining what is the utility of upapad, why this upapad business, this analysis we are doing. So he is saying, Hey Dvij, Hey Brahman, Hey Maitre, he is addressing to the Maitre. I have already told you about the Padaj. Now I'm going to tell you about the Upapad, the new concept, Upapad. So what you will do with this new concept? What is the utility of this new concept, Upapad? That Maharshi is revealing here. It is required for the knowing the auspiciousness and inauspiciousness related to the natives, putra, progeny. Wherever Maharshi is saying putra, it means putra and putri both. That's why the best translation can be the progeny. And the dara and the spouse. So it means this upapad is capable to tell us about the happiness or unhappiness related to the spouse and the progeny. It means we can check the marital life, the quality of marital life, the aesthetic promises related to marital life through this upapad. So through this first verse, Maharshi is referring what is use of this upapad. Now Maharshi is going first. Tanubhav padam vipra pradhanam padam uchyate tano anucharadhyata syadu parudham tada uchyate. That is the very technical here. Maharshi is saying in the second verse, the pad of the lagna, the pad, the arudh of the lagna, which is explained just in the last adhyaya, padadhyaya. That is of course of the main importance. That is very important. That is pad. And here we are talking about the upapad. So pad is obviously very important, Maharshi is saying. And the upapad, he is coming up. That upapad is to be calculated from the bhava of the following the natal ascendant. So that is the technical term, because Maharshi said that much only. Maharshi said tano anu tanora nu charadhyat. So the following to the bhava. Now acharyas are coming to explain what to do, how to understand this. Because Maharshi just said the pad which follow the bhava, it means the upapad calculation. It can be viewed in line with the great Parashara. We are trying to decode, we are trying to understand what great Guru said. Great Guru said that word only. Then it means anuchar. So anuchar means the word anuchar is the follower. Anuchar is the follower. So the follower, it means the house following the ascendant at the birth. So the house following the ascendant at the birth. If you go to the ascendant, the first house, it means it might be the 12th house. So 12th house, upapad, it can be 12th house. Many acharyas believe it is 12th house. But other school of thought also is coming up. They are saying it depends upon the sign of the natal ascendant. If odd sign ascending, it means the anuchar is the second house. If the even sign is ascending, then anuchar is the 12th house. It means in case of odd sign ascending, the upapad is second house. And in case of even sign ascending, then anuchar, upapad, is 12th house. And this school of thought is more close, is in line with Maharshi Jaimini's approach, because Maharshi Jaimini expanded these things. But some of the acharyas believe only 12th. Some believe in this 12th and second also, case by case basis. So these are the things. Now, with this knowledge, with these things, come in next verse, emerge in next verse first. The verse number 3. Tadevo padam nam tatha gaun padam asmritam subkhet grihe tasmin subgrihe yute chite. He is saying this upapad, the name, this upapad, we call this upapad as Gaunpad also. So the second name of the Uppad is Gaunpad. So we can remember it is Gaunpad also, the name, the nomenclature he is talking about. And now he is giving some clues, revealing some wisdom. He is saying if the Upapad is in PSC, if conjunct with or aspected by a benefic planet, then the native might have full happiness from Putradara Adi, progeny and spouse. This is the first revelation. Subh khet grihe tasmin subh grahayut. So he's talking about the conjunction and aspect, both. So he reveals name and he gives some wisdom. The auspiciousness in the Upapad, in the Gaunpad, will add value in natives' marital life. It will add happiness related to wife and spouse and progeny. Now, next revelation is coming up through the verse number 4. Putradar sukham purnam jayate dujuttamam पाप ग्रहयुते तत्र पाप भे पाप vichiten. So now he is coming up. He said like that the first line is Putradar sukham purnam jayate dujuttamam. Ye dujuttam. If the benefic aspect is there, benefic conjunction is there in the Upad, then Putradar sukham purnam, the full happiness from the Putra. And now what will happen if the malefic is coming? पाप ग्रह युते तत्र पाप भे पाप विचिते प्रव्राजको भवे जात तो दारहीनो अथवा नरः. So if Upad is influenced by either through the conjunction or aspect with the malefics or in the malefic sign also, then there might be possibility this native may have darahinta, may live without wife, without a spouse, and he might become a paribrajak, sannyasi. That is the possibility. That is the possibility he is saying. Now, in the 5th verse, Subhadrig yogato naiva yogo ayam dharanasakah ravir naivatra papa syata swa uccha mitra swabhavastita नीच शत्रु गृहस्थे से चेतदारौ सपाप एव ही. I just go up to there. So he is saying Subh graha, Subh drisyo gato naiva. If there is no benefic aspect, then native might be deprived of a spouse. There is a possibility. And especially about the sun. In case of sun, ravir naivatra papa syata. So the sun, if exalted, Swa Uch Mitra or in friendly sign, then we are not going to consider sun as a malefic. So that's very important revelation about the sun. If sun is exalted or sun is in the friend sign, then don't consider sun as a malefic. That is direction of Mahaguru Maharshi Parashara. He is cruel. He is malefic. He means sun. Sun is cruel or sun is malefic if it is in the debilitation, neat, or in the anemical sign, Satru, Grihi. Then only consider sun as a malefic. So that we need to understand about the sun. We are also placing sun in a Krur Grah category, but the Krurta of sun is something different. But when we are doing the vichar of the Upapad, then we need to understand the sun. If sun is exalted and sun is in the friend sign, don't consider sun as a malefic. Only consider sun as a malefic when sun is debilitate or in the inimical sign. That is direction of Mahaguru Maharshi. So through these initial 6 verses, he shed some light on Upapad. He came up with a new concept of Upapad. So the method of calculating Upapad is exactly the same how we calculate the padas. So I got some comments to rephrase this one, the calculation part. It's very easy. So I'm just coming up with these examples. I just brought 3 examples for better clarity. So we know there is a principle and there are 2 exceptions. So the principle for the calculation, like for the first chart, you see the first chart. Here we are going to calculate the pada. So how we will do? Here the lord of this house, the first house, is sitting in the 6th house. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6th house. So we will go 6 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the pad, lagna pad, first house arud, this one. And there are two exceptions. The first one is here, and the second exception we are dealing. So always remember, same house or 7th from it cannot be pada. Same house or 7th from it cannot be pada. That is the exception given by the Maharshi Parashara. So for that one, like for this case, here the Lord is in the 7th. So Lord is in the 7th. So here this note, the note number 3, if the Lord falls on 7th house, Lord falls in 7th house, consider 4th house from it as pada. So this is the 4th house. This is the pada. And if Lord falls on the same house, then consider 10th house from it. So this is the pada. These are the 2 exceptions through the verse number 4 and verse number 5 of Padadhyaya. That is the exception put forwarded by Maharshi Parashara himself. So we need to understand, because the same principle we will apply to find out the Upapadas. That's why I came up with this diagram for your better clarity. Now we'll go. I hope you understand. You have no doubt about it. No doubt how to do the calculation. Now through the 7th verse he is starting blessing us. The effect, he is talking about the effect of second from the Upapad. So second from the Upapad. So in this case, if we take this example, so for the odd sign, 12th house, so this one. And for the even sign, second house, I'm following this school of thought. The one school of thought is always going 12th house. So for this one, we need to find out the pada of this. So in this case, let us suppose, let's start counting from here up to the Lord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 house from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one, this house, is the Upapada. Now Mahasi is going to reveal effect of the second from the Upapad. Second from the Upapad is this house. This is the second from the Upapad in this case, in this example. So now let us come what Mahasi is revealing. I hope you understand the technique. And the same exception also we apply if it is applicable, because the second house or the 7th house cannot be pada. Always remember. If same house, Lord's fall, then 10th house from it. And if the 7th house, Lord falls, then 4th house from it. Always remember, these are the exceptions given by Parashara, great Parashara. I saw some of the acharyas are talking in a different style, but I don't know, I can't comment. I'm going by Mahaguru Maharshi Parashara. So let's come in the verse number 7. Now you are fully equipped with the calculation. Subhgrahanam dristestu upapadarudhat dvitiyake subhacheste subhayukte cha purvoktam hi phalam smritam. So now he is revealing with the technique, classical Parashara technique, how to see the chart through Upapad. He is saying if the second from the Upapad is a benefic sign. Benefic sign means the sign of the benefic planets. We know the benefic planets, 2 benefic planets, completely pure benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, and 2 benefic planets, conditional benefic planets, Mercury and Moon. There are 4. So if the second from the Upapad is a benefic sign, or is aspected by, or it is conjunct by, so PAC, position, aspect, or conjunction with a benefic. So there is a benefic influence in the second house from the Upapad, then the good results, auspicious results related to a spouse and progeny will be seen. So see in that manner. So if in this example, we will observe this one. This is the 7, Libra. This is the benefic sign of Sukradev. We don't have all the planetary details here, but with this detail, if here Jupiter is sitting, so Jupiter is sitting, benefic planet is sitting. I'm not going to discuss more. By this verse, benefic planet is sitting, or it is only a benefic sign. Now the interaction of the planet with the sign, that is a different issue again. So that will modify the quality. So in this manner, see the second house. And in the second house, if benefic sign is there or benefic planet is conjunct or aspected, then it's a good happiness related to the progeny and spouse will come. Now, in the next verse, he is coming up with more detail. Let's imagine the verse. उपारूढात् द्वियकं च नीचांसे नीचखेटयुका क्रूरग्रहसमायुक्तं जातको दारहा भवेत्. Darha means nash of Dara. He will revealing now. Now he is saying, he is talk about the benefic aspects and benefic planets, benefic sign in the second from the Upapad. Now what will happen if the debilitation sign is there? If the debilitation sign means if a planet is debilitated there, or if a planet is conjunct with a malefic, if malefic aspect is there, then that is the destruction of the wife, destruction of the spouse, nash of the spouse. That is the possibility. Now he is revealing more through next verse. स्व उच्चांसे स्व उच्च संस्थे वा तुंग दृष्टि वसात तथा भवन्ति बहवो दारा रूप लक्षण संयुक्ताः. Now he is saying, if like it's an exaltation sign, if a planet is exalted, or that planet is exalted in the Navans also, that is also, or aspected by another good planet, benefic planets, then that will give charming, beautiful, lovely wife. He's talking about the wife. It's a spouse in both ways. Now Maharshi is revealing more through next verse, 10th verse. उपारूढे द्वितीये वा मिथुने संस्थिते सति तत्र जात नरो विप्रा बहुदारयुतो भवे. Now he's saying, हे विप्र, हे ब्राह्मण, हे मैत्री, if Gemini Mithune Sanstite, if you see the Gemini Mithun Rasi in the second from the Upapad, then there might be possibility of many wives, Bahudar. He's saying, it's a very easy to understand. You see the number 3. The number 3 is there in this here, number 3. It's the Gemini sign. So second from the Upapad, if it is number 3, Gemini sign, then there is a possibility of many wives. Multiple marriage, then many wives will come. So that will give you a clue how to check the multiple marriage possibilities. Now coming up, the next verse. Uparude द्वितीये अपि स्वस्वामी ग्रह संयुते स्वार्चके तत्पितौ वापि यत्र कुत्रापि भूसुरा. Now he is saying this Upapad, this Upapad, or the second from the Upapad. We occupied by the own sign, Lord. If the sign Lord is posited there himself, or if that Lord, Upapad Lord, is in own sign somewhere, own house, is owning own house, then there is a possibility of death of a spouse in in long term, like advanced age, not early death. So that is giving idea about the longevity of the spouse. It's a good longevity, indicating the good longevity in this case. Now Maharshi's blessing to the 12th verse. Yasya janmani yogo ayam sa naro dvij uttamam. So that was the part of verse 11. Verse 12. Uttarayudhi nirdaro bhave bhavatvena sansaya. So that is the yasya janmani yogo ayam na narau duyuttamam. Uttar ayu nirdaro bhavetna sansaya. If that is not happening, he duj uttam, O excellent Brahman. If the same thing he is saying actually, so O excellent Brahman, the great Brahman, duj uttam, if the Up-Arudh Lord or the second house Lord from the Upapad occupied, posited in its own sign, then there is a possibility, the same thing is said, there is a possibility of death of wife in the advanced stage. So he is saying, he's saying like no sansaya, what I'm saying, there is no doubt about it, because that's the divine wisdom of Mahaguru Maharshi Parashara. The level of confidence in this revelation you can test. Now he is blessing us next classical Parashara technique through the verse number 13. Let's immerse in the verse. This verse number 13 is talking about mainly to see the condition of the wife, more related to the wife, spouse. So from 13 to 22nd. So we will more focus on 22nd, up to 22nd. So this episode, we will finish on 23rd, concluding that one then. Swarasau sanstite ayepam nityakhyadarkarke uttarayudhi nirdaro bhavetvenna sansaya. So he is saying, if the planet who is indicating about the wife, so who is indicating about the wife? Who is the Darkara planet? So That's the seventh lord. He's talking about the seventh lord, or Venus, the Karak. That's why in one word he just want to capture both seventh lord and Venus. So think about the seventh lord and Venus. That will give you indication about the spouse. If the seventh lord of Venus in the own house, if they are in the own house, so there will be loss of wife at the latter age. That is adding the value in the longevity of the wife. Now, next revelation through next verse. उपपदारूढ़पतिहा स्व उच्चे स्थिर स्त्री कारको अथवा सुकुलाददार लाभः स्यानीचस्थितु विपया. Now he is saying, if the Upapad Lord of the Upapad, so you find the Upapad and who is the Lord. So in our example, the Lord of Upapad, go in our example. You come here, Upapad. Who is the Lord of the Upapad? Mercury. See the sign. So go like this. So the Upapad Lord, or seventh house Lord, and the Venus. Upapad Lord, seventh house Lord, and the Venus. All three. If they are in the exaltation, the wife of the native, the spouse of the native came from the very good family, noble family. And vice versa. Opposite is also true. If they are in the debilitation, then the wife of the native came from the very low level family. So that technique is indicating about not only wife, about indicating about the family of the wife also. You can see from the chart only through applying this technique. Next revelation related to wife through next verse. He did that one. Kulad dar lava syad nichaste tu vipratya. So he did that one. Now the next. उपारूढ़े द्वितीये वा शुभ संबंध तो द्विजा जातस्य सुंदरी भार्या अव्यारूप गुणान्विता. He's saying, hey Dvij, he's addressing Maitre, O Brahman, Dvij. If the second from the Upapad, so you know how to calculate Upapad and how to see the second from the Upapad. If the second from the Upapad is related to the benefic, and that relation is any of the form, the sign, benefic sign, or the PSE from the benefic planet. Whenever I'm saying PSE, that is the position, aspect, and conjunct of a benefic planet. Then the wife will be beautiful, fortunate, virtuous. Bharya bhavya rupa gunanavita. Then you can see the wife. Through any native, any bachelor is coming and asking how's his to be a spouse, beautiful or not, you can see through these techniques. Although you have to be uha poof patu, you have to check through other techniques also to confirm your prediction, to reach out the more accuracy. That is the basic style. But these are the very important techniques, uppadas. Now Maharshi is blessing more through verse number 16. Let's immerse in the verse. Uparudha. So pad means arud. So upa arud. Up arudhat dvitiye cha sani rahu isthitau yadi apvadat istriya tyago naso vajayate dvija. Now Sunny, Saturn and Rahu is coming. Rahu and Saturn, they are coming in the picture now. So he is saying if the Saturn or Rahu, Saturn and Rahu, both, and he is saying, Sunny Rahu is Thitau. If Saturn and Rahu in the second from the Uppat, then native, there is a possibility native might lose his wife. Losing his wife due to not separation, due to death or calamity. अपवादात स्त्री त्याग्यो नासो वा जायते. So that is a static promise. We are talking about static promise. Don't tell anything very bad after seeing one planet in one place. See holistically. If you see in any particular chart Saturn and Rahu in the second house from the Upapad, and tell that native your wife is going to die. So these are the techniques to checking the aesthetic promises. Promise can't do anything alone. Promise need dasa, and dasa can't do anything alone. Dasa needs transit. Then event will happen. This is the process of the manifestation of the event. Real blessed Daibhagya can see this manifestation. He can see the wheel of time, this manifestation, and can tell that one if he feels. Now, next revelation is through verse number 17. Let's imagine the verse. Uparudhe duite yeva sikhi sukrau yadai sthitau rakta pradar rogar tar jayate tasya bhamini. So Sikhi is coming into the play now. Sikhi and Sukra. Sikhi is name of the Ketu Dev, great Ketu. All 9 planets are Devata. Vyasji prayed all 9 Navagraha Stuti. Palas Pushpa Sankasam. His verse goes like that for the Ketu Devata. So the Sukra and Ketu, Venus and Ketu, is posited in the second from the Upapad. Then what can be happen? The native's wife, not native, native's wife might have, there is a possibility of having blood related problem. Rakt pradar, Rakt and pradar. So he's saying tasya bhamini, bhamini means wife. So the wife of the native might have possibility of having this. You are checking the chart of the native and you are talking about the disease of the spouse. So you can understand how charts are integrated, how we are integrated, one family is integrated, and one society and overall whole cosmos is integrated. And that is the basis of this great divine science. Those who do not understand this Shastra, but they are claiming they understand the string theory of quantum mechanics. Both are same. The Kalpurus concept is all about the grand design of the integrated, how integrated we are, something happening somewhere else that is affecting our life. That is the very simple basic. Aristotle said, truth is simple. So the problem is with the so-called black sheep fortune tellers, psychological block masters. They are giving bad name to this great divine science. But there is no question about this, the divinity of this science. Now, the next revelation is coming through the verse number 18. Buddha ketu isthitau tatra tada asthira asrava sanyuta tatra stha sanirahakas tada isthira jwara sanyuta. Now, a lot of information Maharshi is packaging here, he packed here. This verse is full of information. So Buddha and Ketu, Mercury and Ketu is sitting in the second house from the Upapad. That will cause, if that is happening, so that will cause breakage of bone, fracture, Asti Bhang Yoga. And Rahu, Saturn and Sun, they will give deformation in the Asti, deformation in the bone, not breaking the bone, deform the bone. That is happening. And that is happening with the native. Maharshi has, that is also like a difference of opinion, because Maharshi is going by in this verse talking about the native's wife. Throughout, the thought is flowing, but in this verse, he just talked about Rahu Ketu Ishitau Tatra Tada Asthi Astrav Sanyuta Tatra Sthita Sani Rahu Karasta Tatha Istir Jwara Sanyuta. So some acharya believe that is in the in that flow. So he's talking about the wife of the native, but in particular in this verse, he did not tell about the specifically. But if you holistically, if you go in the flow, so I believe some acharyas are doing right commentary, talking about like it's a combination for the native's wife, because through these things we are checking the native's wife's condition. I have no objection in this case. But here, if I go verse by verse basis, then the traces of that Bhamni is not there. But the flow is coming like that, we can say what acharyas are commenting, that's right. Now in the next verse, verse 19, more revelation is coming up. Asthule langi budhrahu bhyam tatra sthabhyam dvijottamam Buddha Kshetre Kujar Kir Chenasikarog Sanyuta. These are very much used in identifying the diseases. So in medical astrology, the basis, the building block, foundation of medical astrology is coming up. He is saying Mercury and Rahu. So Mercury and Rahu is in the second from the Upapad. Then that will give a very stout body to the wife. And if the second from the Upapad is the sign of the Mercury, Buddha Kshetre, sign of the Mercury and Kuja Arki, and the Mars and Saturn, Arki, Ark means sun or Arki, Saturn. So that the sign of the Buddha, Mercury, so sign of the Buddha is Gemini and the Virgo. And the Mars and Saturn, they are posited there. So Mars and Saturn are posited in the sign of the Buddha, in the second from the Upapad. So in that case, the native's wife might suffer the nose disorder, nasal disorder. This is the possibility. So you have to check in which sign Mars and Saturn are sitting there. More revelation is coming through next verse. Pujachetreyapyamev phalam geyam dujottamam brihaspati snitatra karna netrujanvita. Now he's saying similarly in the sign of the Mars, in Martian sign, Aries and Scorpio. If the Martian sign becoming, if the Martian sign is the second from the Upapad, you check the second from the Upapad and see the sign. And in that second from the Upapad, Mars and Saturn are sitting there. Mars and Saturn are sitting there. So that he said, Mars and Saturn. So Brihaspati is there. Brihaspati is there. So Karna, Netra Rujanvita. So there is a problem with the ear and Brihaspati, Sunny, Brihaspati and Sunny, Jupiter and Sunny, not only Brihaspati. So Brihaspati, Jupiter and Sunny both are sitting there in the sign, Martian sign, in the second from the Upapada. Then there might be problem with the Karna and Netra, ear and eyes problem. Native's wife might have ear and eyes problem. So through native's chart, native's Upapada, how beautiful this technique is. You can see the possibility of the diseases in his wives. That is a very great technique. Now he's revealing next. Tatranage gau vipra budbhau moi sthitau yada swarvanu devya jau bharya dantarujanvita. He's talking about the dental disorder, teeth problem. So for the teeth, he is saying, for the teeth, if the Buddha Bhaumo, Mercury and Mars, Bhauma Mars, Mercury and Mars is in the second from the Upapad. It's very simple. You have to check the second from the Upapad. And they are in the other than their own sign. Other than their own sign. So Buddha sign we know, Gemini and Virgo. And the Mars sign we know, Aries and Scorpio. So other than these four signs, these two great planets are posited in the second from the Upapad. And if the Rahu is with Jupiter, Swarabhanu here, Rahu and Devajyo. So who is the Acharya of Devata? Brihaspati. So Rahu and Brihaspati is second from the Upapad. Both the combination going to do same thing. If the Rahu and Jupiter in the second from the Upapad, or Mercury and Mars in the second from the Upapad other than their own sign, then there is a possibility of dental disorder in the natives. Now he's revealing something about the Sunny and Rahu in the next verse. Sani Rahu Sani Chetre Pangur Vatrujanvita Subhadrig Yogata Neti Phalam Geyam Vipachita. Now Sani and Rahu together in the sign of Saturn, Makar and Kumbh, Capricorn and Aquarius. Sani and Rahu is posited together. In the second from the Upapadas. So that will cause Vat rog and the Pangu, that is the Viklangata, physical challenges, disability, those type of disorder can be seen in the native's wife. These are all in the native's wife. And he's saying Subhadrigo gato neti phalam geyam vipachita. If there is a benefic aspect, if there is a benefic aspect or benefic influence, then this will like this unauspicious thing will be less. A very strong benefic aspect, then no more. That is the revelation of Mahaguru Maharshi Parasa. How you can see second from the Upapada and the planets there, sign there, you can see that will give you indication about the native's wife. That is a very good technique. Now in the 23rd verse, what he's saying, Laganat padadupa parudhat yo rasiha saptamo dvija tasmat tat swaminah ketat tadascha duj uttama. He's saying, hey Brahman, hey great Brahman, duj uttam, great of the greatest Brahman. All these effect, whatever effect I told you, second from the Upapad, you see the planets and you see the aspect, you see the sign. So these effect you can see like these effect can be deducted from the Lagnapad. The seventh from the Upapad and the Lord. Seventh from the Upapad and the Lord. The last 1.5 line is part of this one. Eva meva phalam gyeyatmi hu nardadaya. So these things Narad told me. Our Guru Parampara, Narad, Sonak. So Narad Adi Parampara, Narad told me these things. So you don't see this one only. You consider the auspiciousness and inauspiciousness from Lagnapad also, from the Dharapad also, and from the Upapad also. So don't see in isolation. He is always discouraging Maitre to see in isolation. He is always encouraging Maitre to go to see in holistically. So you saw these things through the Upapad. Now you see the Lagnapad also. You see the Dharapad also and see the Upapad also. And then you modify the things and then you do the Falkathan. If something is coming very bad through the Upapad, but through Dharapad, through Lagnapad, you also verify these things and then modify the result and then come up with the Falades. So that is Mahaguru Maharshi Parasas. That is the revelation. And he is always giving like Purvarti Acharyas, what he said. He's saying, what Narad told me, what Narad Adi receives, because he is claiming he learned from Brahma through Narad Adi, Sonak Adi, Guru Parampara. So he is always indicating about the Parampara, how this wisdom lies in the Parampara. He talked a lot about the wife, native's wife. Now he will talk about the native son. So we will go with Maharshi Parasa, and in the next episode we will talk about the native's son through the Upapada. These are the really great, fascinating technique to see about the marital life and wife and progeny of a native. These are the excellent technique. I hope you understand and you will apply on chart to chart basis. Couple of chart you will pick the chart and find out the Upada and check the second from the Upada and apply this Parashara principle that will give you wealth of knowledge indication. But these are the static promises. Don't forget about that one. Thank you very much. May Mahaguru bless you. May Mahadev bless you. In the end, I will pray for you and I will pray for everyone through this prarthana. Om. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev.